Hello and welcome to BRR Media. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by Andrew Catchpole, the Chief Scientific Officer at hVIVO. It's great to have you with us today.
Good to be here, thank you.
So Andrew, today hVIVO has signed a 7.2 million RSV human challenge trial. Tell us a bit more about RSV.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, we're delighted to have signed this contract because RSV really is a very important pathogen. And this study for this contract will actually be trying to test the efficacy of a new antiviral for RSV. So RSV, or also known as respiratory syncytial virus, is a major killer actually in young children particularly. So most children would have been exposed to the virus by the time they're actually aged of 2. And it's the #1 leading cause of bronchiolitis and pneumonia in that childhood age group. But you can imagine it's difficult to test those drugs in that age profile. So it's very important that we can have these antiviral drugs for that age group. In addition, it does also cause infections in adults, and they can become anything from quite mild infections to healthy adults to quite severe illness or even death in the elderly. So it's a really important pathogen.
So what is hVIVO's role in this study?
So hVIVO will be conducting the human challenge study. So we'll be provided with the antiviral drug from our clients, and we will conduct the entire clinical study for them to test the efficacy of their product. So that'll be right through from recruiting the volunteers and housing the volunteers in our dedicated challenge unit, which is a high containment challenge unit in London, and then using our specialist medical staff to look after them, as well as then analysing the samples in our laboratory and analysing the results for our clients.
Andrew, can you remind us of the benefits of a company undertaking a challenge study?
Yes, absolutely, because it's really quite key to understand why do a challenge study versus a normal trial, because challenge studies have a number of really fundamental benefits. So they can get the data very much quicker than going to test the efficacy in the field, or in the field, so in a natural setting. So if you go to a field trial, it can take a really long time to get your data. You're totally dependent on, let's take RSV, for example, for this study. They'll be totally dependent on how much RSV is circulating in the community. And it's very, very seasonal. And there might be almost no RSV, which means you really don't get any data. So you have to wait another year before you can do your trial. With challenge studies, you can conduct them all year round because we directly inoculate our subjects with the virus. We know they've been exposed, therefore you can see the efficacy of the drugs. And this is particularly important for RSV because it's a really difficult disease to test in the field, because the target populations are very vulnerable populations. They're the very old and the very young. So it's very difficult to go into those populations with normal clinical trials. So really, before you go into those populations, you want to understand, is my drug working? So the human challenge study that we do is able to give them that first indication that yes, in humans with a disease, the drugs can work and have efficacy. This gives them a lot more confidence then to move forward with the very challenging trials that go forward when doing field trials in that at-risk populations. So they can get really fast results and really clear data, whether to move the product forward or whether they need to go back to the development stage. Some companies doing RSV trials with us have even got breakthrough status with the FDA, which means they get an expedited pathway in phase 2 and phase 3. So it can be really very beneficial monetarily for them as well.
Well, thank you for the insightful update today, Andrew, and we look forward to hearing more in the future.
Thank you very much for your time.